probably a bit of a roll-up pause. We're probably not even here yet. Whatever we're recording now has gone into the digital ether, and now we're here. Morning, everyone. Hope you're all well. I hope you enjoyed the rather crazed, frantic, frenetic quiz.
Don't. Put it down. He's bought this fucking bell and he keeps ringing it in my ear. And I've got a severe tinnitus.
When you ask for the end of me ringing my bell, it's a bell end.
Morning, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Good morning. So, first of all, we're in the Christmas week. Merry Christmas. This is the week where half the nation go, what the fuck? It's on Sunday. Actually, I keep thinking it's on Saturday, but it's not till Sunday, so I gained a day.
Hardly.
So I gained a day. So we are now through this week, because we always want somebody in because of the flaming parcels. We are rowing the whole time about who's going to go shopping, who's going to stay at home, who's going to go shopping, who's going to stay at home.
Yeah, most families probably have. That's when a ring doorbell comes in really useful.
Yeah, so we're doing all of that and we're all panicking and saying, oh God, it's just ridiculous. I have to say though, I'm more organised than I've ever been before due to my ADHD diagnosis, which I'm going to be doing a little film about later.
Does anyone feel, is anyone going through that thing of, oh my God, it's so sudden, it's upon us so quickly, it's like such a surprise. Is anyone going through that?
Oh, Sarah, I'm on loose. What day is it? Oh no, I'm not on tomorrow. Sorry.
Are we, you know, are you one of those people? Are you one of those people who's kind of going, oh my God, it's so suddenly upon us? It's not, it's been coming for a year.
As I just said on my Instagram, which one of you are one of those little fuckers that's got everything, wrapped it, tagged it, and bowed it? Come on, put your hand up. Put your hand up if you're one of those little fuckers.
What are you referring to?
All the shopping.
Oh, sorry, I think that's something else. Christos, good morning, you guys and everyone. It's my amazing wife, Natasha's Tyramos's birthday.
Today.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear gorgeous Natasha. Happy birthday to you. Squash tomatoes and you. Happy birthday, gorgeous. May it be a gorgeous one with your gorgeous husband.
Yeah, have a lovely one, Natasha. Lots of love to you both. So let's see what some people have said. Are you ready? Some people have wrapped. What's that? Billy May Ruffle. I've wrapped the things I've got, but need to get more and still put deck. I was amazed that put decks up that like your sister hasn't got. I mean, what is the point? And I'm going to ask this because I like festivities and I like Christmas. What is the point of putting Christmas things up 2 or 3 days before Christmas?
So they don't have the kind of nightmare month that we have.
Because rather, no, hang on. Let me finish a thought.
Watch Vlogmas.
And then you're going to be taking them down within minutes afterwards. The closest to Christmas, it's about as festive as a cracker in a sink. That's what I feel.
That's what you feel.
I feel that I personally think that they should be up from the 1st of December. What does everyone else think?
Just show everyone this jumper.
Hang on, I've asked a question.
Yeah, while they're answering, look at this jumper. Isn't it lovely? Look at the sleeves, the little twinkles. Do you know where I got that? Look at that. And it's from Donna Karen. Look at the sleeves.
TK Maxx.
TK Maxx.
That's all I ever hear in this house.
For 12 quid.
TK
Donna
Maxx.
Karen for 12. Oh, I am such a convert.
Guess where I got this
Maxx.
from?
Dina's training me properly on TK Maxx. She takes me on a regular basis. The other week we went and we were there for 3 hours.
So boring.
Yeah, but you weren't there, so it wasn't boring.
No, I'm saying just
No, but
TK
she
Maxx.
trained me. She's training me because I used to go, and also because of my ADHD medication, I can stay because I couldn't stay in the shop for more than 5 minutes, and now I can concentrate. Isn't that a bargain? Do you like it, Mark? Look at the sleeves.
Yeah,
this sort of thing you'd have bought me.
Yeah, really nice. Really
like
nice.
my lovely All Saints one you bought me last Christmas. I love that.
Yeah.
I've worn that so much.
Oh, good. Zoe Agnew, bloody love TK Maxx. Pink Lady, haven't bought a thing or put anything up. I mean, I can understand if you're anti-festive, if you don't like the commercialisation of it all and everything. But I am a huge believer in. It's like we did that story recently about Matthew Wright buggering off to Barbados and not spending it with his kids. I think it's incumbent on adults to make Christmas exciting and special for their children.
Yeah, well, I love Christmas.
And I just don't understand. I literally don't understand the point of putting a Christmas tree up the day before Christmas Eve.
Yeah, you know we've said this.
I know, but it
Just done a whole rant on it.
actually frustrates me.
Okay.
I don't understand. I'm going to have to ask your sister. I don't understand why she's putting one up so close to Christmas. She should have had it up for you. No, it really
Well, guess
distresses
what? We
me.
are going with Dina to buy the Christmas tree, so that should be a rather good vlogmas.
Thank you. Vicky Waiting agrees. Thank you very much. Keely Murphy, can't believe how quick this month has gone.
I know.
And if you think about it, months are just going to keep going quicker and quicker and quicker until we all die.
Oh God,
Which
this is
quite
cheery.
something, isn't it?
I'd have a panic attack in TK Maxx. Severely struggle with busy shops. Alex.
Ellery
I
Jones,
used to be
TK
like
Maxx
that.
is bloody expensive. Is it? I could get
Well,
this
this
sense.
isn't.
This isn't. God, you sounded like...
Everything I got was a complete and utter bargain. Was like a quarter of what it would have been normally.
Oh, look.
Maybe I was there on a good day.
Maria H. Nadia, did you get your Jellycat cherries? I saw them in a shop in southwest London. I sent you the details on Instagram.
Oh, did you?
Oh, sweetie,
you
I have to explain,
absolute
especially
sweetheart.
on Nadia's account, but also mine. DMs and everything get lost
Oh,
within a
that's
sea
so
of DMs.
kind of you.
So
Thank
do
you.
not ever think that we've seen them and we haven't responded, but thank you very much.
I think Dina managed to track.
Pardon?
I think Dina managed to track.
Oh, right.
something. Dina is like
John
the
Brannan.
most amazing shopper.
John Brannan makes an interesting point which knocks me into touch. Wasn't the original tradition to put tree up on Christmas Eve?
I think there's something nice about doing it on Christmas Eve. I couldn't do it on Christmas Eve.
How
but-
could anyone? We're all busy
You know, like
as
all those
fuck rushing
old,
to Boots.
Yeah, that old Christmas
Spice.
movies where the man would be walking along with a tree on his shoulder on Christmas Eve and it would snow.
What
So
was-
he's off to Ireland tomorrow and I'm not
Oh,
organised.
nice.
I bet you are. You're quite
I bet you are.
organised.
What was for me, one of the defining features of Christmas Eve was a last minute dash to Boots to get my granddad Old Spice and to get me, I know.
I used to buy my dad Old
Yeah,
Spice.
yeah. And to get my nan some Baddidas.
Baddidas. Which
Baddidas.
we just get on a delivery now, don't we?
Baddidas.
When we get our supermarket shopping.
Baddidas. And those were the regulars. Those were the kind of consistents. And I used to love that. There was something sort of... And
Can I just ask everyone,
Yeah.
where has all the decent bubble bath gone? I can't find anything with
Hang
any
on, I've got a
decent
song
bubbles.
coming on. Where
Does
has
anyone know a bubble bath that
all
bubbles?
The well, hang on a minute. And bubbles that last longer
Yeah.
than 3 seconds when you put a bit of
that's
soap in the
proper
water.
bubble bath. There
Why-
you go. That's what I'd like for Christmas. a
Why
proper
haven't they
bubble bath.
invented a bubble bath that the bubbles don't disappear when you put soap
I
in?
suppose you'd have to buy kids' bubble bath.
you
Is
know-
there a kids' bubble bath? I think that's what you'd have to do. Buy kids' bubble bath to get a proper bubble that would stay.
Yeah, but as soon as you put soap in the water, the bubble goes. My nan always said, don't put soap in the water, Mark.
Oh.
The bubble goes. Does anyone else know that?
That's your mum.
I thought bubble bath was soap.
Oh, Sanctuary Spa is nice and bubbly, is it? Oh, that's a great tip. I'm
my
going to buy some
God,
today.
Janine Amory, remember Matey as a child, the
I
little
do,
sailor.
Mr. Matey. Loves that.
Oh, mate. That's what I used to say. I used to love a bath when I was a kid.
I think we need to move on because we've got quite a bit to do because
Yeah.
we're doing two big topics today. So we just thought we'd do a little bit of Christmas stuff to ease us in.
Oh, I
To
wasn't
the
going to
world.
foreground that. I was just going to seamlessly move into the next story rather than tell them what we were doing, babe. Jeremy Clarkson. This, I think, is so shocking, what he said. Jeremy Clarkson wrote in his opinion piece in The Sun about Meghan Markle. Has anyone seen this? Has anyone heard anything about it? Because my eyes popped out when I saw what he wrote.
You know, there's plenty of people that dislike intensely Meghan Markle. And everybody has the right to have their feelings. But to talk about another human being like this, to me, makes him a troll.
Okay, well, let me explain what he said.
A troll.
In his newspaper column this week, Clarkson wrote that he despises the Duchess on a cellular level. He dreams of people throwing excrement at her in the street. He also wrote that he hates Meghan more than Rose West, the serial killer who collaborated with her husband
please,
Fred.
love of God.
This obviously led to his daughter, who is a very sort
love
of...
Emily.
Yeah, she sort of body
I
positivity.
follow Emily, and
lots of kind of,
we contact each other and DM stuff, and she said this must be so. I actually really felt for Emily when I saw this because she is passionate about challenging the kind of views that this man has, and from trolls. I mean, she challenges people all the time. She gets a load of shit herself She gets a load of shit herself. Did he not think about what this would feel like if this was his daughter's?
No,
Anyway,
absolutely.
I'm very impressed by the fact that she's just come out. Very difficult because she loves her dad.
Fiona Reid makes a good point that the Sun are editorially responsible for allowing this to slip through. I mean,
Disgusting.
there are, believe it or not, editorial guidelines that they have to sieve this stuff through.
Yeah.
Do you want to read what Emily Clark's answer was?
So Emily said, my views are and have always been clear when it comes to misogyny, bullying and the treatment of women by the media. I want to make it very clear that I stand against everything that my dad wrote about Meghan Markle, and I remain standing in support of those who are targeted with online hatred.
Wow.
I mean, that gives me goosebumps.
Yeah.
Because I'm imagining if my dad said, God, no, not that he ever would in a million years, he just wouldn't think like that, but if he were to do something that was say something that was so dreadful in public, it'd be incredibly hard, wouldn't it, to just come out so 100% like that?
Yeah, I mean, a number of other public figures have come out. John Bishop was absolutely outraged. Carol Vorderman. The most sort of cutting was actor and comedian Kathy Burke, called the former Top Gear presenter a colossal cunt over his comments.
But he said he wanted her walking naked, down the streets while people throw excrement on her.
Now, a lot of people are saying this is his dark humour.
No.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying this is how he's defending it. Yeah.
But it's disgusting. It's like, that is classic bullying. Oh, it's just a bit of banter.
Yeah.
It's a bit of bants. Bants? No, you were inciting hate and violence, I think, to wish that someone's walking naked with excrement thrown at them. Oh my God. What would you think if he'd said that about your daughter?
I would want to find him and destroy him. I think it's absolutely outrageous.
This is what we have to do as humans. We have to say, if that was one of ours, how would we feel?
Yeah.
And how did that editor not think that?
John Bishop made a really good point. He said this is a blatant appeal to incite humiliation and violence on a woman.
It is.
He added, some have excused it as dark humour. There is no joke here, Jeremy Clarkson, and no excuse.
And also the other thing that he said was, most people of my age feel the same way about us. So Carol Vorderman has come out and said, no, Jeremy, not on any level, in any circumstances, is it okay to write this stuff about any woman? Absolutely no. Also, to everyone who's my age thinks the same. That's just. It's just.
I just think it's quite remarkable.
It's like incel. That's what it is. It's like woman hating, inciting.
I think the thing that worries me most about it when he says everyone my age is that unfortunately it does provide a snapshot and a little bit of a kind of peep behind the curtain of a huge number of people in this country that underneath this sort of, the veneer of whatever the veneer of this society is, because it's falling apart before our eyes, there is this seething mass of hatred, resentment, a distaste and a suspicion of everyone and anyone who's in any way different to this sort of status quo of the Cotswolds. There's just... Unfortunately, I think Jeremy Clarkson probably does only know people of his age who feel the same way, which is why he feels it's quite normal to say something like this. I'm massively disappointed because obviously I've found him very funny over the years. I once got lost on his Instagram account. I know that he always takes his humour to the very edge, but I thought this is a step too far. This is a huge step too far.
Could anyone find that funny?
No, I mean, rarely is stuff about excrement or anything like that funny. So he was clearly going for the most awful kind of description or threats or suggestions around. I mean, but what will happen what's breakfast going to be like between Emily and Jeremy? I mean, that's the other... No, I know, but I know, but she has a relationship with them. That's the other aspect to this, isn't it? About the sort of, hating what your parents done to such an extent that presumably it would cause absolute meltdown unless they have a sort of, very sort of surfacey relationship. What is a relationship like on a
I only
Instagram?
just know her from Instagram, and I admire what she does on Instagram, and I admire her for speaking out against something that is atrocious. But I don't know her well.
Let's have a look at what you say. Natasha, happy birthday, darling. He should have been uninvited to Camilla's lunch after what he said.
Yeah, he should have, absolutely. Does anyone think it was okay and think that it was funny? Don't be afraid to say if you disagree with us, as we always say, with politeness. But does anyone think, well, I just think he was. I think he was taking it to the edge of humour, and it was dark, and he might have missed it a bit. Does anyone think like that?
My little peonies, if you can come up with those things, there's something wrong with you in the first place. Becky D, not funny in the slightest. No. Jenny J, he doesn't understand we equate excrement to racial abuse. Sarah Withington says Emily should tip the trifle on his head. Adele O'Connor, I can't believe that anyone that watched the series can have any kind of hatred for her. It wasn't a funny comment. Faith Goodman, the news yesterday about Gary Glitter and his son. Oh yeah, absolutely. Sorry, it's off subject. We did talk about that on the Sunday show. Michelle Manning, he was fantasizing about humiliating this woman, bringing her back to size. Dangerous man.
I just think it was repulsive.
Linda Lovell, well, this is good. Linda Lovell, not a Meghan fan, but this was way too harsh.
Exactly. I mean, this isn't about you have to love Meghan, but this is like you have to treat other people like they're human beings, and I think this just absolutely highlights everything that they were saying in that documentary.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
I'm just trying to think, if somebody had fucking written a piece like that about me,
Can I just
I'd be devastated. I would be frightened. I would be scared about because there's a lot of dodgy, deranged people out there that could see this as a license to feel what they feel and feel that sort of anger or that.
I just think it's
violence.
quite weird that she's generated such an enormous, an enormous reaction in Piers Morgan and someone like Jeremy Clarkson. What is wrong with these 50,
I think it's misogyny.
50, but what is wrong with these 50, 60-something men that they're so threatened and they're so aggravated that they have to come out like little children holding their willies and going, ooh!
I mean, the thing is, he talks about how she's got her hand so far up Harry's arse that he's making her lips move. Excuse me?
It's really nasty.
How do you fucking know that?
It's really nasty.
And excuse me, also, we have no idea of the power balance between Harry and Meghan. When people say, oh, but Harry needs to grow some balls, we actually don't know. But how about this? There are plenty of relationships where there is one partner that is more alpha than the other. Sometimes that's the woman, sometimes that's the man. What the fuck has it got to do with anyone else who happens to be the alpha? I mean, I would say between you and I, we go like this all the time, who's the alpha? And these are men that don't want the woman to ever be the alpha. And so for me, when I read that, I see pure misogyny, pure sexism, pure sit down and be quiet and behave yourself and smile nicely. That's what I hear from Jeremy Clarkson.
I'd be fascinated to know forget what Jeremy, bless her's daughter thinks. I'd be fascinated to know what a partner or lover or the other half of Jeremy Clarkson. I'd like to know what the woman in his life thinks of these comments. Whether they think Jeremy, whether she says over Jezza, that was absolutely shocking. And he goes, well, it doesn't
He has
matter.
a very smart wife, who's a very successful wife. I think she was, I can't remember, a model or an actress or something. She comes across in his documentary as very classy and very lovely. I'd throw him out. I'd have to leave. I could not ever be near a man again if I heard them say anything like that. It would be the biggest shutdown of my feelings to have to hear.
Shelley Ann, someone on GB News said he was relating it to Game of Thrones, which is, the moment where Cersei, or whatever her name is, walks through the streets naked. Well, come on. Yeah, I'm not saying they didn't say that on GB News. I'm not Shelley Ann. Thank you for that context.
Yeah, no, please tell us.
Yeah, no. But it's a stretch. It's a stretch of a kind of justification.
They will be now backtracking and giving us a million reasons for each and every line. So he hates her more than he hates Rose West, who murdered, raped, and tortured and kidnapped young girls.
That is
Where is the humour in that?
Awful. It is staggeringly awful.
The other thing as well, Jeremy Clarkson is not a stand-up comedian. There's a lot of argument about what should be allowed within comedy, and lots of people believe that there should be no. Yeah. So say you are a fan of Jeremy Clarkson and he's that kind of comedian that says the most dreadful, awful things. That's a different thing, because people are choosing to go and buy a ticket and see that kind of thing. But to put it in the most widely read newspaper, shame on you, editor, he's not a comedian.
No, but he is someone who's renowned for saying the unsayable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's challenging woke. He needs to awake himself a little himself. He really does.
Yeah,
Oh, horrible.
anyway, well, there you go. I mean, that was a big story. Just a quick note. Obviously, it was probably the most exciting World Cup final yesterday in history. I couldn't have been less interested in Argentina or France, but we had an unusual football fan in the family yesterday.
Well, Dina came in yesterday. I put a little bit on my Instagram. What was she like, Mark? You know, she was like, "So, what did you think of the match?" I was like,
She was
What?
talking
What
about
match?
she was talking about things I've never heard a Sawalha girl talk about.
What match? She goes, the World, is it the World Cup? She's the World Cup. What's the World
She was
Cup?
using phrases like it's a game of two halves.
Oh, it was brilliant.
extra time.
No, a hat trick. She said the words hat trick.
What are you saying?
Hat trick.
Why are you saying it like that? A hat trick.
Well, she said, I don't know what hat trick is.
A hat trick,
It was,
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Mbappe
went
got the hat
went
trick.
to half time, exciting.
Yeah. She went to extra time, went to the
Messi
next- yeah.
earned this, and Messi could earn that, and it was a game of this, and France nearly lost it. It's everything you want from a football match. Honest to God, I still can't
Same here,
believe
Elliot.
it.
Same. I couldn't have been less interested in the World
I
Cup.
keep thinking it's a joke from Dina, and she's gonna. Have you seen that thing where on Instagram, very funny, where girls have been learning all that sort of stuff, and they're filming their boyfriends without them knowing, and they're going, "Oh, he needs to take some more space. He needs to do this," and the boyfriends are like, "What the fuck?"
That's funny.
It is very, very funny. So at one point last night, I thought, if you two set me up, and she'd come in,
right.
I was talking to Game of Two Offs, but she'd actually watched it.
I have to say, as she spoke with great sort of aplomb about football, she became increasingly attractive to me.
And she became increasingly attractive, and she laughed at all your terrible fucking jokes and
Yeah,
awful
she
singing
was my
last
best
night.
audience last night. She should have done
No,
the live with me.
the thing is with Dina is she's very intoxicating, Dina, because you can't get her to laugh easily. And when
I
she
do.
laughs, she goes.
I love getting her to
This is
laugh.
how she laughs. She goes. And so she was doing a lot of
I'm
that.
sure she'll love that
No, she
impersonation.
does. She does.
Like a car starting.
And so she was doing a lot of that. So he was loving it.
Makes her sound like toffee. Okay, final story of the morning. By the way, Elon Musk has put up a Twitter poll on his Twitter account asking whether people would like him to step down as the CEO of Twitter. And he said he will observe the rule. So he's offered himself, and apparently I went
be
to have a
careful
look.
what you wish for.
Yeah, 53% have said yes, so he's going to be standing down later today.
Right, we need to move on to this.
Craig
'cause I promised
David.
it.
Craig David closed his heart to love for 25 years after a teenage whirlwind romance. And it
I
really
love the next line. The singer says his heart was guarded by steel gates. Now, I
Just to give some
understand
just brief
that.
context, it was only a 2-week whirlwind, which I was flabbergasted by.
No, but I think we don't understand. We still don't fully understand that at the wrong moment, because something that could happen in one moment might happen in another moment in your life and you would hardly feel it. I think the teenage brain, I sometimes see it as like, honestly, the thinnest porcelain and just cracks can be made. That's why I'd spend so much time talking to my girls, because I want to know who's influencing and what's happening, because you can get a fissure, you can get a crack, and then things can get in it, and then it can like really affect you through life. And I get this, and I think that
Oh, good ship lollipop. He met a girl on Monday. Took her for a drink on Tuesday.
Oh, God.
They were playing football on Wednesday. Sorry.
But anyway, I think I'm a huge believer in those teenage crushes probably being sometimes the deepest feelings we can ever have. And when people dismiss it, we've talked about this before, haven't we, guys, as not really love, I say fuck off, because you don't know. Could you plug in my phone, darling, because I haven't got much battery.
I don't have a charger.
Oh God,
Yeah.
I'm
You
going
can
out.
charge it in the car.
So I can understand this, and I remember when I was the first time my heart was broken, I put steel gates around my heart, and I was just like, I will never ever be hurt like that again. I will never be hurt. I didn't even let him know I was hurt. I let him think I was totally fine with this breaking up, because my pride came in. It's the pride. But I also think it's really sad, because I think that, and I've said this to my girls in the past when they say, oh, I'm scared of, going out with this person or that person in case I get hurt. And I say, you've got to take the risk. You've got to take the risk, because if you don't take the risk, you don't get the high.
Well, I don't think you take every risk.
No, obviously,
I
you're
think you
looking
have to-
for red flags, with a nice person.
Yeah,
with
yeah,
a
yeah.
nice person. Obviously, I'll caveat that with.
Can I, reading this story, for me, there's a sort of parallel, I think. Because at first I was thinking, I wasn't heartbroken as a teenager. I had a girlfriend from the age of 14 through to
Formative years,
18. So I was in a kind of steady relationship for 4 years with my first girlfriend. Prior to that, you have crushes, you fancy someone and all that kind of stuff, but nothing kind of heartbreaking at all. I think heartbreak can happen in two different ways. Someone can break your heart, but you can also break your own heart, I think. And as me and my first girlfriend naturally ran our course, I was heading off to college, she wasn't. Our kind of worlds were slowly parting away. There was something about that was particularly heartbreaking. But I wonder whether what has happened for him is entirely equivalent to what we've said a lot. Is entirely equivalent to what we've said a lot about how bullying as a child can change your entire life and personality and vulnerabilities. And I think, first experiences of love, relationship and sex will dictate the rest of your life, for sure.
Can I just say, I actually trekked across the Kenyan desert, the KZU desert with Craig David.
Yes, you did.
And he was the most adorable, charming, kind, sweet. Honestly, when you live with people like that for a week, you really see them. And he always had an immaculate white top on, like so perfect. Everything was so perfect. His tent was so perfect. And it's strange now thinking about this because maybe he's just one of those people that wants, that is just...
Order.
Yeah, wants order, and maybe there was no order in that, and that was very frightening. But oh my God, I'll always have a place in my heart for him. He's such a nice guy.
you're
but we have a follower here who says her cousin went out with him,
Kate
and he was
Pendry.
lovely.
Yeah, well, he strikes me as incredibly lovely.
Oh, he is. He's so sweet.
Zoe Agnew, heartbreak can really damage you, but I agree you should take the risk and go for it. I think with me, I am now too fussy. I won't let anyone in until I know it feels right, so I don't get hurt.
I don't think that's too fussy, Zoe.
No.
I think that's smart.
But therein lies the danger. I mean, Nadia is an incredibly good counsellor to her girls. She has been to her stepchildren. Incredibly attentive, incredibly patient. Nice. Her advice is top drawer. And for me as a father, that is an enormous relief because where the girls do reach out to me, I can give them, I hope, insights into the male, unreformed male. It's often useful having been an absolute Burke as a younger man because I can give little insights on how to trick men round or dodge a bloke or actually understand what's driving men. But Nadia really, I think you do a very good, highly crafted job of, as you rightly say, there's got to be risk in... Risk is part of the frisson of love. But the danger as a parent is where does that risk become risky? So where is... it's that old bad boy thing and all that. And for me, it's a fucking hornet's nest because all I want to do is murder everyone that they come into contact with. It's a sad fact, I'm sorry. But Nadia negotiates a much more meaningful route through homicide and stuff like that.
But believe you me, the curly knife is there.
It's there at the back. But I go back to, I thought this was an interesting story to pull because I think for 25 years, it doesn't mean he hasn't had relationships, but it's interesting that something as short and as sweet or as hurtful as a 2-week window of a relationship can alter your attitude or the way you are in a relationship. And I think we underestimate. So when we look at kids and we talk to kids and we make statements about kids' behaviour and stuff like that, we've got to be careful because we don't know which bits of that are going to go in and change their entire lives. Just look at, and I think bullying is a good comparison because sometimes people who've been bullied at school carry that and the damage of that through their whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, even the very first time, it's very hard to trust. But when you've been hurt, it's so hard to trust again, isn't it? Because you think about all the lovely things that person said to you, the way they made you feel. And it's like, I think especially if somebody's been a real shit, like really, really lied and cheated. Me and the girls have been watching Too Hot to Handle. I don't know if any of you have been watching it. And this guy called Creed, who just literally, we've seen him go, I'm going to go and tell the other one that it's over. And then he goes to the other one, he goes, I'm going to tell the other one it's over. I've never seen anything like it. And my girls have just been like, whoa, there are actually people like that. And I think when you bring up your children...
21st, faith.
With trust and with faith and with, kindness... In a way, that's quite difficult because they go out expecting that from other people. And Maddie has said to us, it's really horrible when you go out and you realise the world isn't that nice. But I always say to the girls, don't let anyone treat you as any less well than your dad did. Is that the right way around this?
Don't let anyone...
A bit Slacey.
Yeah. Well,
Well, you say the sentence.
Yeah, well, I don't really know the way you go about that. You
It's
said it
weird.
earlier as a double negative
do-
because the inference is that your dad would
No, your
ask.
dad treats you really well, so why would you have anyone treat you in a lesser way?
Yeah, no, I agree with that one. But
That's what
yeah,
I mean.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
That's what
yeah,
I mean.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
it's like, don't. Yeah. Anyway, so heartbreak. It's a biggie.
It's a hotel.
And I think around this time of year when people are
Yes.
splitting
Yes,
up, and I
tricky
know there's
time.
a certain age group as well where people actually split up with people at Christmas because they don't want to get them a present. Can't remember last year. There was quite a few of you that had said that, and I remember going, "Oh my fucking god, how tough are people?" But anyway, we just wanted to put our arms around anyone with heartbreak
Yes.
today and remind you that every time you search, look on Facebook, look on their Instagram, look to see what they're doing. Every time you call them when they don't really want to know, every time you text them, you are increasing the pain. You have to cut off completely, otherwise the pain is longer.
I think this coming year we should start to consider doing our agony aunt
Aunt
podcast.
and uncle.
Aunt
yeah.
and uncle.
We want to do
because
agony aunt and uncle.
someone's just saying you should do something about relationships because we do the How to Stay Married, but How to Stay Married, I suppose, is about long-term relationships and
Well, we
navigation.
want to do
and
other
all that.
people's
We
questions.
want to do other
Ross.
people's dilemmas. Okay, guys, look, have
Can
a
I
lovely.
just say rest in peace, Xander Gibb, because I just did. He got his.
Oh yeah, bless.
Love you
Group
all.
hug.
Group
Group
hug.
hug in the name of Xander.
Yay.
Oh, guys, obviously Vlogmas will be landing later. I hope you enjoy and have a lovely, lovely day.